this is bullshit. I know you have told me this thing like hundreds of times, and I'm not gonna trust you anymore. Like, I'm smarter than you. I know how recovery works. I know from the old examples that people had in recovery. I know that you are just lying to me, and I've tried what you told me to do and it never worked, and it always made everything worse. Hello everybody, it's Elisa here, and today another video about recovery, and I hope it will help you. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Today's video is about how to speed up your recovery. And I got this question from a reader, and she asked me on my Tumblr, what are the ways to speed up your eating disorder recovery? Because she has been in recovery for I think like 3 years or something, and she's clearly very fed up with it, and she just wants to end it as soon as possible. And I've also been there. When I was in recovery, I had so many days when I felt that recovery is not working and nothing is improving, and I even felt that some things are going worse than expected. For example, my body image and feeling like bloated and water retention, and my health, and also so many cravings of like junk food and unhealthy foods, and it was very frustrating. But I noticed something happened in my recovery. I started to notice that every time I would relapse, every time I went back to trying to eat clean or trying to restrict some foods that I craved, or when I tried to get rid of the weight or water weight or bloating, I did some maybe intermittent fasting or tried to eat more healthier or restrict my calories a little bit. I started to notice that every time I did it, then after a week or so, I couldn't do it anymore, and I was back to like binging and eating junk foods. Yeah, basically like where I started my recovery. And I started to really connect the dots that every time I wasn't consistent about recovery, I went back to my eating disordered habits, back to listening to my fears, listening to my eating disorders. I started to understand that this is delaying my recovery and it's not speeding up. Because in my eating disordered head, I was thinking,
maybe if just a couple of days I will try to eat more healthy and maybe lose some weight, or the bloating will pass and everything, I will feel so much better, and then I will continue with recovery or eating whatever I want. So maybe just this like 1 day or 2 days I try to eat raw and very healthy, and I will feel so much better, and then I will be back to my recovery.
But it didn't work that way. And I learned it by going back to restricting many times in my recovery, until I came to the point that I understood that this is one reason my recovery is not progressing. Because I was trying to cut corners. I was trying to speed up my recovery artificially. I was trying to cheat my recovery. I was trying to do things that in recovery it's not recommended, because I thought like I'm the unicorn and I can get away with it. And
those people don't know what they're talking about. I'm different. I really don't need to feel bloated. I don't need to gain weight. I don't need to binge on junk food. I have to instead limit them, eat healthy, to be healthy.
But I understood that this is actually keeping me from full recovery. When I started to make this big shift in my head and my thinking, that I need to let go of the food restriction and of course the calorie restriction, I need to eat what I want and recover from this good and bad foods mindset. So this started my recovery. But at the first, I was fearful for eating like junk foods, and I developed exercise bulimia. Every day I went running an hour, and I went to the gym another hour, and then I would run back, and I was burning like more than 1,000 calories a day. And it was not speeding up my recovery. But in my head I thought so that I have to do something to burn off these calories or to compensate for me allowing myself to eat whatever I want. So yeah, this is the point of this video, that you cannot cut corners. You cannot cheat or make it artificially go faster. There is no way to full recovery other than go through it. And people don't realize that actually this is the fastest way to full recovery. And this is the way to speed up your recovery, is to go through it. You cannot restrict or compensate or try to lose weight even if just like one day and hope that this will speed up your recovery, because it will not. It will just set you back. And if you realize it, that it will set you back, then it's much more easier to stop following the eating disorder and what it wants you to do, and instead go through recovery no matter what. And my last tip is, again, what I already talked about, is not interfering in recovery. There is so many symptoms what are likely to come up in your recovery. You can gain weight, you can feel bloated, you can feel tired, you can have constipation or like the digestive issues. And so many symptoms that come up in recovery are part of the body's recovery, and it's actually normal. But when they come up, then in your eating disorder, it will freak you out, and you will likely want to just do something like right now to make it go away. And this is the problem why many people do not recover, is that they want to have results quickly, as fast as possible, and they have to respond to this fear, and they feel that they have to do something. But I want you to understand that this is just fear. This is just eating disorder. And in my recovery, it helped me so much that I started to read about recovery, read about examples of recovered people and how it was like for them in recovery, how they went through this weight gain and bloating and feeling like shit in recovery, but how this is all normal, and how by biology, by science, it's all explained why your body reacts this way. And this really helped me to be realistic and argue back for my eating disorder. When my eating disorder told me that
you have to lose weight, you have to start restricting all the unhealthy foods you're eating, you have to eat healthy, because otherwise you're gonna just gain weight and feel terrible for the rest of your life or something.
Then I was starting to argue back to my eating disorder and told her that this is bullshit. I know you have told me this thing like hundreds of times, and I'm not gonna trust you anymore. Like, I'm smarter than you, I know how recovery works, I know from the old examples that people had in recovery, I know that you are just lying to me, and I've tried what you told me to do and it never worked, and it always made everything worse. And yeah, when you educate yourself about recovery, how everything works, then the fear starts to go away, and you can argue back to your eating disorder just using your plain logic and your knowledge and some common sense. And yeah, this really helped me to go to recovery mode and not going back and forth like restriction and fear and not trusting my body and trying to do something to artificially speed things up. And yeah, so I hope you like this video. You can tell me what you think. Give me thumbs up if you like it. If you like this kind of videos, you can subscribe to my channel and ask more questions. You can leave them down below in the comment section. And yeah, so this is it for me today, and see you in my next video. Bye!